Wait a second. Check these out. Not bad. Not bad. You know what I cannot figure out for the life of me is that somehow this computer keeps on turning off and shutting down everything. Now we've got 0 viewers. Who the fuck? Guess I'm just not that popular. Oh, we're going to go into George Edwards UK. Boom, boom, live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, George is on the show today. There's only like 3 of you guys on here. What the fuck happened to all my friends? What are you guys sleeping in? I don't know if I really like you guys. Tito's here. Tito can be a bit lazy, though, the more I think about this. Grayson's here. I don't know, Sam. Colby, not necessarily a fan of yours. Don't like that name. Yes. Builder is the tits. Look at all that stuff behind me. It's gym time, bro. Yeah, but you leave it on your headphones. Like, what are you going to do? Listen to music? You've got this amazing opportunity where you can connect with me, hear my lovely voice. You can hear about what's going on in the world. There's options. There's opportunities. There's lessons to be learned. There's motivation to be had. I'm like 10 times David Goggins. I'll get you pumped up, dude. I'll get you to do some fucking reps. Shit, ass. Give me a second, guys. I'm trying to get some show notes and bring them in. 35-minute tempo run. Phils, you need to listen to me on your tempo run. That's the only way you're going to get through. George is actually in the backstage, and I'm just refusing to let him in.
It's not true. I'm here, guys.
George is going to find a way to recording by either making the background noise bad or, George yesterday, he's got these noise canceling headphones now, so he can't hear how loud he is audibly. And he smacks his lips and picks his teeth with his tongue, and he sounds like a cow chewing on grass. That right there.
You guys know that Hunter's a little bit sensitive to anything that he can't possibly own or take control of. I was eating pistachio nuts.
No, these are not pistachio nuts, dude. I mean, it was honestly, if I was in the other room, I would think that somebody was playing porn on the TV. The noises that you're making with your mouth were foul. Wow. And I'm not into it. It really made me question our friendship.
I question our friendship every 15 to 20 minutes, so that's fine.
George, why don't you tell everybody about how you got the Crestline flu again?
It wasn't the Crestline flu. It was apparently it was just chronic dehydration this time. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. But it was about a 24-hour thing this time. Hunter basically told us we were all going for a run with about 15 minutes notice, obviously. He'll argue that, there was plenty of notice and plenty of water bottles, but he was the only one with a hydration vest. None of us had hydration vests.
Hold on a second. By the way, guys, the only one with a hydration vest, everybody here is an athlete. They all knew we were going for the long run.
No, they didn't.
And they all decided not to bring anything. And then they look at me. They're like, why didn't you tell us to bring water? I'm like, since when? Since when did you guys not have to bring water?
That's by the by. It's a 20-hour trip just to get to Hunters in the mountains. So I'm jet lagged. I'm tired. I've slept on the floor in the anabolic orphanage, as you guys know and probably seen. And then, we wake up. We have about 15 seconds to gag as much breakfast and coffee down as possible. We're driven out into the middle of the mountains, and then it's time to run. No stretching, no warm-up. That's idiotic. So, we had to share water bottles between us. And I got a little sick because I was super dehydrated after. Hunter will tell you it's because I got in the sauna after. But I really just got in the sauna for like 5 minutes to warm up. So I don't think it was that. I just think it was some dehydration.
The Crestline flu. Can we break down some myths and some myths today in the fitness industry? How do you feel about these things, Zins?
This is the first time I'm seeing anything like that out in California. I saw your buddy chew one the other day. You've been chewing them. Nicotine patches, right? You just hold them in your lip.
These aren't across the UK?
I've not noticed it. If they are, maybe they are, but it's really not on my radar.
These things are everywhere. This is replacing chewing tobacco. This one's called athletic nicotine, and you're supposed to put it in while working out, like endurance work.
What makes it athletic? Like how the caffeine sneak that word in there?
From what I understand, I'm just going to read what's on the label. Not a lot of information here, guys.
Yeah. That's some made in China, untested nicotine that everyone's just stuffing into their gums.
From what I understand, they have like sodium in here and a couple other things. There's snus. There's snus in the UK, and a lot of footballers use it. 𝗨𝗨𝗕𝗏𝗏's here. 𝗨𝗨𝗕𝗏𝗏's our biggest shit talker, by the way. So, George, I'm just going to let you know that you're going to absolutely get roasted. So let's talk about training camp.
Why do I know that name?
No, you know Noel, dude. He used to like come to like training camps and all sorts of shit. He was around all over the place. Okay. Yeah. Also, so tell me, what'd you think about training camp this year, fitness wise, compared to other training camps? How do you feel about your fitness? How do you feel about other people's fitness? Fill me in. What's going on?
Yeah, this one's been the best. This one's been the best, to be honest. We had such a good crew. I think so.
Tell us about it.
Well, just, I brought my buddy 𝗬𝗍𝗓 out, who I've been training with, and I've been helping him out for about a year, 18 months. He's just a solid cat, he's just super chill. He's not high maintenance. He's just up for whatever. So it's good to really get to know him better. Jack's an absolute beast. That kid is super strong. All these guys are in their late 20s, early 30s. Hunter's 35, I'm 41, but it's a good crew. Everyone gets on really well. And then with Cole, we saw Cole for longer than 18 hours, which
that was impressive, dude. Abby let him out of the house for more than a day.
Yeah, you owe me $20 for that. We actually had a bet, and you said he would never make it.
And pounds, though, I'm only going to end up giving you like 3 pounds because of the conversion. What is the conversion of British?
1.3.
Really? Dude, it's getting worse. 125. Let's just look over the last 5 days. Ooh, there was a crash. Last year, dude, you spiked, dude. In September, you guys are 133. Over the past 5 years, ooh, guys, up here used to be 1.4. We're having a slight buildup. Well, you guys used to be studs back in 2007.
Oh, I've been to the States before. It's been straight up 2 for 1. It's been glorious. It's been absolutely just rolling in cash.
We've got our first girl on the screen today. It's Heidi. Heidi, would you mind ranking George scale 1 to 10 and like fuck, marry, kill style? Would you bang George? Would you kill George?
I know you want to do all 3, Heidi, but you can't.
You didn't even spell her name right. It's Heidi. Say her name right. All right, let's go back to our training week.
So, I think we had a really good crew, first and foremost. So the atmosphere was good. A lot of laughing. It was funny to see you get your ass whipped at Monopoly. That was funny.
I didn't get my ass whipped at Monopoly, dude. I had the worst luck ever. I went to jail like 70 times.
Well deserved, I'd say.
Well, sir.
Yeah.
How did you feel about our hike?
Just mimicking life. The hike was fun. My calves and backs of my knees are in bits today and yesterday, but it was super fun.
British body made of just candy brittle.
Don't act like you're not like getting out of the car moaning about your legs too.
Dude, Heidi's giving you the vote that she dang you, but she's not going to marry you. She just doesn't think British guys are trustworthy.
Makes sense, Heidi. You're on the.
I understand why you got all up. How do you feel about our tempo workouts, our high rocks workouts?
Yeah, I really I liked it because I was doing it outside and not in a dungeon gym basement in London. So working out in the sunshine was definitely a flex. I felt pretty good about that. I felt a little bit of fatigue towards the end of each run, but
You can see George
yeah,
in the background over there running at a mild pace.
snail's pace. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. Everybody runs at a snail's pace compared to you. You fucking
What about
freak.
this ride right here, guys? This ride reminds me of the time that I took George out, and George decided to go on the PCH at about 3 to 10 miles an hour where all the cars were. And then as soon as we got off and we could start to pick up the pace, George wanted to stop for coffee. And as soon as we were done for coffee, George wanted another coffee. George was soaking the day up.
So I don't know how many of you guys know anything about California, but that red line is basically what I like to call the death road. The reason it's called the death road is because cars, and you know Americans can't drive, right, guys? But essentially, they do about 60 miles an hour this close to you. There's no actual cycle lane, and then there are cars in front and houses, by the way, on that street where people put out their trash and garbage. All of a sudden there's a pothole that looks like a sinkhole where you might get swallowed up to go to another time zone. So you have to keep your wits about you, and it just jacks up the cortisol pretty early on in the morning. So yeah, when I was done with that, we had to stop for pastries and coffee. That's how you bike ride.
By the way,
it wasn't
when you come,
it wasn't a tough ride anyway.
Everybody knows when you go on a bike ride and you stop for coffee, you get espresso. And George decided, he's like, could I have a mocha
Americano.
latte? And can I?
That's not true. Okay.
I would like
Hunter's trying to dig me
nutmeg
out
with cinnamon on
for
top.
comedic
No.
value.
Let's be honest, dude. Let's be honest. We were out there
Dude,
for a long time, dude, trying to take care of whatever your latte drinks were. You have to admit,
No.
that screen thing sucked up a lot of time. It was
Dude,
a
I drink
drag.
an Americano with milk. That's it. That's
Yeah.
because you guys don't know how to make good coffee over here.
Also, but you bought like a half gallon. You're supposed to take a shot.
That's the smallest size they did. This is America, remember? They don't do like small
America.
cups. Everything just comes in like supersized me and give me diabetes size. So I had to do what I had to do.
By the way, guys, it's
Look,
begun. We went to this coffee shop. There's someone making the coffee, but you no longer have intimate connections with a barista anymore. You walk in, you press a screen a bunch of times, and then you're done, and it goes to the person behind you. You can't talk to the person. I tried to talk to the person behind the desk, and she looked at me as if I was from a different country, a different world, and she didn't say a damn thing to me.
I managed to get some sort of connection. But yeah, she was super mad that I asked for milk. I couldn't find the extra button on the screen. So
Yeah.
I'm a retard.
Yeah, I'd say that. I'd say that's true. We'll figure out. Stop presenting here. Okay,
I'm
let's keep on going.
I'm old school.
Let's keep on. Hold on, I got to go back to presenting. Let's go through some of these sessions. I want to really get your inside scoop on some of these sessions. So this is our longest bike ride. Come on, Hunter.
Do we get 100K in it?
I'm a sweet peach. All right, how did you feel about the bee sting ride? The big mountain one.
Oh, that was great. I felt super strong. That's my jam. That was good
Now,
until I got a flat tire. Were you
how hard?
with us?
Yeah, I passed you guys.
Yeah.
I had to go up to the top and take that meeting. How do you feel about the mountains here compared to Mallorca?
Yeah, you can get like a lot more elevation faster in Mallorca than you can in California, but the roads are quieter in here in LA. So equally as beautiful. The canyon roads are my favorites. The PCH can get fucked. That's the death road. By the way, guys, people just like throw out their weekly trash on the side of the road, so you're just cycling over nails.
There's more glass there than I don't get. I don't know where glass comes from. Like, I never see glass. We were talking about this. It was literally every 5 feet was just piles of glass on the ground. It's kind of insane. It is really insane. Pretty sure you're crushing Mayhem's numbers right now. What's Mayhem? Do they have a live show right now, guys? Because if that's true, we should log in and talk some shit.
CrossFit
How do you feel
Mayhem.
about our powerlifting session?
I liked it. Getting out there
I'm not gonna lie,
in the
Cole
woods.
absolutely smoked us, and so did Jack. Guys, we ended up putting 3 plates on the bar, so we were at 315, and then we had 100 pounds of bands on each side. And it was, to me, it was below parallel squat to Cole, who's about 6 to 7 inches shorter than me. It was, basically a high box squat.
Do you remember
And
we had those bands? One of them, they were a bit ghetto, these bands. One of them pulled a lot harder on the left, so you had to fight out of it. That was my favorite part.
That's good core stability.
Yeah, just one-sided.
How do you feel about the devil's butt crack?
What was I? 15 seconds behind Cole.
I don't really know.
Yeah, I was second for most of it, and then Cole passed me like 100 feet from the top. I mean, Cole Schwartz is, even an unfit Cole Schwartz is still a pretty fit guy to me. But I really did like it, actually. I did it in running shoes, not trail shoes, so I was getting a little bit slippy towards the top. But it's a super good workout. It's just, like if you go off too fast, you die early. So you really have to pace it, especially when you do it once a year, like I do, or twice a year. Hunter does it. We do it like once a week when you're in a training block.
No. I maybe do it once. I mean, dude, I've only done the devil's butt crack like 8 times.
Okay.
Maybe
6
a little
more times
bit more.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up straining my calf a little bit. I was kind of worried about that, but I'm going to get the record. Let's see if I can go in. There should be like a segment section. How do you do that in Strava? Hell, Cole showed me this last time. If anybody's in the notes and knows how to do this,
Segments
greatly
on the left.
Where?
Above laps.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I hold the crown here. View overall leaderboard. Look at that. Boom. 12:48. That was like 4 years ago.
So, guys, for reference, if he did it in 12:48, let's just round that up and pretend like he started his watch a little bit later, so it's 13 minutes. And then George did it in like 16:15, but Cole stopped my watch. So I'm 3 minutes behind this dude. I'll take it on a straight vertical hill in running shoes. It's not bad. It's not bad, dude. In your local gauntlet.
Hold on. View all of my efforts. So I've done it 11 times.
Oh, 11 times. Oh, double the amount you said previously. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I said 8. Where is it? I just did it here. I did it 13:40. I had a little bit of a calf strain, so I'm going to let that go. I'm going to break 12 and break my record in a week or so.
So I've got, hold on, go down. This is interesting. George has got 16 minutes, so I'm faster than like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of your times. Is that real life?
Well,
am I on your leaderboard?
These aren't all race efforts. Look, here, this one, okay. If you want to understand, I'm 2 minutes slower at 112 beats per minute.
Yeah. That wasn't my race effort. I was in running shoes, bro. I dragged off a plane.
George, this is your race effort. Look at the picture and look at your face.
That's almost my face after a hard workout.
Look, this is George's face, by the way, after this workout. Homeboy was dead.
Oh, I mean, I was definitely dead. I'm gonna find a picture of Hunter.
You don't got shit, dude.
Hunter snoozed on the couch all afternoon. So
As I should, dude. As I should. I'm trying to see if there's any other good workouts we can talk about here, and then we're gonna get into the show notes, guys, and talk about some other stuff. But it seems like we were kind of just chilling. Like the first half of the week, I was going pretty easy with the boys, and I was waiting for you guys to get here, and then we went to frickin' war. But it's time to get into the show notes, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. 𝗨𝗵𝗵𝗥 wants to know if I'm going to beat JK in Vegas. Thanks, 𝗨𝗵𝗵𝗥. So nice of you.
What do I think?
Yeah, you're in the notes, baby.
What was JK's last time?
55 something, 55 low.
Was that on a closed course or open course?
Closed. It's a championship.
And you did a 57
56.50
on a 56.50 on a busy course.
Yeah.
I'd say you guys are going to be within 30 seconds of each other. I got to go with my boy Hunter squeezing out the victory. But yeah, that's if he continues to listen to my coaching advice and doesn't try to play the mad scientist and get all skinny again like last year, lose a bunch of weight, get in an altitude chamber and pee in a plastic bag at night, just hating everybody.
That was pretty great, dude. Peeing in plastic bags every single night, trying to get that extra air. Like, I'm not coming out of here for another 2 hours. The misery was so high.
Yeah. Is everybody showing up to Vegas? 𝗕𝗏𝗕𝗁𝗏𝗏, JK?
I really don't know, man. Like, I don't know where the information pool is on any of this stuff anyways. Like, they don't really tell us a ton.
What I will say, guys, is that it doesn't actually, like, for me, I was like, if I was looking at the outside coaching Hunter, I don't actually want him to PR in Vegas because that just means it's too early in the season. You want to PR in May, June. So if you go out too hard and you win, then that's cool because you win the Elite 15. But it's now getting the competition's getting close now, so it's harder just to win every race and just smoke everybody. These things are coming down to finer details and peaking and getting your tapering right. So I'd say that maybe a 55, 56 wins it again. Maybe a 55 wins it, and it's all about who can sort of recover from that and go back into training and get their volume sorted again for the next one. But if you run a 53 and break the world record, then you're like, oh God, how do you get back there? Like how do you find the will to sort of dig into another training camp? I'm not saying you couldn't do it. I'm just saying it's probably the wrong time to put in the year's best performance. So yeah, if you throw down a solid race and everything, all your metrics and training are looking good, then it doesn't actually matter as long as you qualify and all that jazz.
No, how do you get this information? I don't even know. It seems like these High Rocks nerds are always in the know about stuff, and
they follow everybody.
Yeah, but how do you tell? Like, you just these people are all posting and talking about it, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, I've turned into a post and ghost kind of guy on Instagram and social. Like, I'm not reading a lot of everybody else's stuff just because I'm not really having the time, or I know it sounds bad, but I'm trying to promote my own business and services and try not to read what everyone else is doing. It's the way I'm going.
Well, since we're talking about Instagram, I always have to share one of these a week about why chicks have to stop trusting horses. Watch this video. Bam! I love nothing more. So I cruise the internet every week trying to find inspiring athletic stories. And then I will always get a video of a chick getting fucked up by a horse. And I don't know what it is. Like, every girl I talk to, they're like, I want a pony. I want a pony. And I'm like, okay. I don't trust horses. I don't like them.
Yeah.
I'll ride on the back of them, but I keep my knuckles fucking firm just to give him a little Jack Johnson right in the ear, dude, because you never know. You never know, dude. Look at that snarl little teeth, dude. Vicious.
Is that yeah, that's not even a full-size horse. That's like some sort of pony.
Look at the size of his teeth, dude. Those teeth
sort of
are
donkey,
gigantic.
Bro. Yeah, did she get bit on the armpit?
Dang. No, she got that underbelly, dude. The underbelly of her arm, like that tricep meat and bicep meat. That's soft, tender meat. Dude, is anybody you remember when your parents would get angry and they pinched you in the back of the arm when you were younger? Brutal.
Yeah, she got a bruise.
Let's see if there's anything else I want to talk about here. Well, this doesn't make any sense. Oh. Yeah, I just need to show this. I always like a knockout of the week too. Jade, what the hell do you know about horses, dude? You're lucky you're still alive. Jade's one of the girls who likes to show up on the show and just weigh in on stuff. We all know that horses are serial killers. And if they have the advantage, they're going to take you out.
I just don't understand why certain animals get such positive PR. You know, like I'll give you, owls are always the intelligent ones. Have you seen owls, dude? They're vicious, bro. They will snap you up, carry you away. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. You got a small child? Done.
It's gone.
Did I ever tell you they figured out this murder case? This guy went to jail for a double homicide. And he was like, I didn't do it. And they're like, yeah, right, bro. They sent him to jail, and then they went back and did some more like forensic work, and they found out that there was like little microfibers inside these women's crushed skulls, and they found out that it was actually an owl that was swooping down, and like these women were running, and they're swooping down. It was hitting their skulls with their talons and puncturing holes in their head, and they died. And this guy got hit for a double homicide, and he got released.
Ooh, see?
I gotta see if I can look up that article. But also, dude, check out this knockout of the week, dude.
Yeah, that's a serious move.
This is why I never stuck around in the whole fighting game, because all it takes is just one dude who's watched too much Street Fighter to fuck your life up forever. Grayson says that the goats in the Alps are also vicious. Do you remember those goats that we saw when we were up in the Italian Alps running up and down that hill?
Yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah, I've done a couple of Spartan races in France where you just all of a sudden you're running through a field and you kind of get the sense that an animal is watching you, and then all of a sudden you see like a herd of bulls and cows running towards you, and you're like, I've got to get out of here quickly. Was it you that telling me that somebody got sued here in the States for something similar happening? I forget who, but yeah, Spartan Race had a few tricky situations with running through fields. There's been like wild bulls or like cows, and people have gotten fucked up. So, but in France, that's just like, yeah, what happens? What are you going to do about it? In America, it's obviously a lawsuit. In France, that's just Wednesday.
What, getting fucked by a cow?
Well, there's just like the health and safety in France is like zero.
I still think to the craziest thing to this day that I've ever heard about in racing or in sports in general is Joe DeSena had the Spartan race, death race in Mexico one time, and the entrance to them doing their event was everyone was put in the back of a truck and then backed up into a bullfighting ring. They open it up and they push it out there, and your bib number was on the floor, and you had to run in to go get it, and there was a bull
that's dope. Running
around, and one dude got his ACL torn in half. Other people just got wrecked. That was the start of the race.
Dude, I've done the running of the bulls in Pamplona, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically like a mile run through the streets. It's actually less than that. It's less than a kilometer, but the streets are super narrow, like an alleyway. And they're all soaked in beer from everybody partying the night before. And every morning, 6 cows and 6 bulls get released by the signal of fireworks, and they chase everybody through the streets. And it's basically a parade, super masculine thing, but essentially 3 generations of men are trying to grab bull hair to prove that they're the most masculine bloodline. So you got to get close enough to the bull hair and pull it out the tail or pull it out the side. But obviously a lot of tourists, including myself, partying. And yeah, you see a lot of people get fucked up. And I was talking to this one guy before, this Australian dude, surfer dude, super happy, super chill. And then afterwards, I see this guy getting carried into the back of an ambulance, and his entire arm shoulder girdle is missing. Like he got trampled, completely ripped off.
What?
Yeah, it was terrifying, bro. I mean, I had a great time. I got super jacked on all the adrenaline. I also have some bull hair in this little jar back home. So
you got some.
I got close enough. I got some. Yeah.
That's gangster.
It is gangster, but it's one of those things where I look back and I go, that was so fucking stupid, bro. Yeah, it's just wild. Like bulls slip all the time. There's this like a 90-degree turn about halfway through the course, and bulls just lose their footing on all the wine and beer and just take people out into this fence. It's gnarly. And it finishes, if you're good, then you run the whole way of the course, which I think is just under 1 kilometer. And you go into a bull arena, and then they release more bulls, and then you play Matador with them, and people again get fucked up. Sometimes the bulls turn around and go back into the crowds. It's just lawless, bro. But
I went to the bullfighting rings and watched it, and nobody got fucked up.
I mean, they do it every day for a week at the 𝗬𝗵𝗸 festival. I mean, it goes hard. I mean, this is back in the day where we didn't even have a hotel. You know, we just slept rough on the street, partied all night. We were just there for it. I've aged slightly since then. I need that bougie lifestyle. I need a hot shower. Call me old fashioned, but after I run with some bulls, I need to take a nap, lay down in a nice comfy bed. Back then we couldn't even afford the price of the hotel. So the plan was to take the train from Barcelona across the country to Bilbao and then up to 𝗬𝗵𝗸. And then we just drank and partied all night, all day. And woke up super early and then run the bulls and did it again the next day.
Fuck, dude. I feel like I want to get more into that stuff when I get older. Like, I want to get out of this. Like, I can't obviously take any kind of risk at this point, but I used to do so much of that shit when I was younger and I was a little crazier, and I miss it. My life's gotten
Dude, if we took some GoPros and just filmed us drinking all day and then we go and run this bull race, it's going to get more views than any HYROX race you've ever done.
Yeah, I know.
So simultaneous.
Dude, one thing I really want to get back into is skiing, and I saw this the other day because I was starting to look at ski passes. Check this out. Jackson Hole now has a $10,000 luxury ski pass, and it used to be 10 years ago $1,000. Like, when was the last time you tried to go skiing, and have you witnessed how expensive it is?
What do you get for this VIP treatment? Like, you skip lifts, you get like cradled and carried up the mountain on a throne.
You get like a continental breakfast and lunch reservations. They're talking about this kind of bullshit, like as if it's basically meaningless. Yeah, dude. I honestly, I want to get to the mountains and start skiing again, and it's just out of control. I also don't like people. I don't like lines and things like that. But if I have to spend this kind of money to go skiing with the douchebags that are spending this kind of money, I'm out of it. I'm out the game, dude. But I want us to go on a ski trip this year. Like, I'm going to go over to Europe in February and go to Spain, and I would love to go up to like the Swiss Alps or something like that and just hit the mountains for like a week. But
yeah, dude, the best place to go that's actually really cool is a place called 𝗏𝗏 in Switzerland. It's definitely a hybrid of snowboarders and skiers, but it's pretty cheap to get there because if you take public transport, you get 30 or 40% off your ski pass. And public transport in Switzerland is basically run the equivalent of Elon Musk. So everything works. Everything just shows up on time and just connects properly. And
no, I saw it, dude, when I was up in Chamonix.
Yeah.
Dude, this is something that's kind of interesting because I think baseball is a shitty sport. Sorry to my friends who play baseball.
It's hard.
There's this thing called the golden bat rule where now basically I think it's at the top of the ninth, like your last inning. Supposedly, like in baseball, basically there's a rotation of like who's coming up at bat. And you have to wait until the rotations come through until you're up at bat again. On the ninth, the last inning, you can switch in any hitter that you want to make like a last minute game changer to see if you can shift the game at all.
So because they're basically admitting that their sport's so boring, they need to make it more exciting.
I'm not like a super fan of baseball, and I don't sit there and watch baseball all the time. There's probably people who are watching this or probably will shit on me later. But baseball is so slow, and there's almost no reason to stick around to the end of the game, especially if you almost know what's going to happen. Like if someone has a pretty significant lead, the game just dies down in its pacing. Like, but this could be a game changer. This could be a game changer and change the last inning and shift the points up completely. Yeah, baseball players have nice glutes, but who the hell wants to sit there for 4 hours watching these guys show up at bat? You see their butt cheeks for 30 seconds, and then I have to
No.
sit there for the rest of the game. Like it's whatever. Whatever.
I mean, you guys know that we're into cricket
Cricket's for
in the
fucking
UK.
bums, dude. Cricket's for
Well, it's
bums.
misunderstood, but like it's just a long, slow, arduous sport. I'll give you that. But it's when you get into the test matches, it's a party thing all day. People just get dressed up and go drinking for like 12 hours.
I think
I'll take you to a
also
game and you'd like it. You'd have
I
a great
also
time.
think that there should be a shift in European football where if you guys come to a draw, whoever scores the forced points, like they did this in wrestling to make it more exciting and it changed things up a lot. But whoever scores the first point wins the match. And if there's a complete draw and 0 points completely, like I don't even think you can do that though. Don't you guys end up going to penalty kicks near the end?
Yeah, I mean, this is some typical, no offense, this is some typical American BS where you want to fuck with our rules.
Dude, it just blows though. You guys end up with draws all the time, and it's such a
And that's
fucking
okay.
boring game.
I know
Why
you
is
guys
that
don't
okay?
want ties and draws because it's throughout the season who's got the most points, and sometimes it's not just about the team that wins; it's about the team that doesn't lose.
Yeah, but dude,
And
you have to understand, you're talking about the super fan culture. I'm talking about the people like myself who are like kind of
yeah,
auxiliary fans. We're on the fringe a little bit, and the only way you're going to bring us into the fold is by making it a little bit more exciting.
but you know our attitude to fans like you guys? Get fucked. We don't
Dude,
care. Our
you
teams are
don't
already
care,
our teams.
but you're paying these bums tens of millions of dollars to suck, to warm benches, to dance around on the grass. I want to see
I
some
mean,
stuff.
I know you do. I know. And at the moment, there's a huge problem with the amount of games these players are playing per annum, per season, and just even per week. There's a new competition that FIFA's just launched, like the World Club Cup, and players are getting exhausted and just dragged out, and the amount of injuries are skyrocketing. So they've got that problem first. They have done a few competitions where they've changed it to like there has to be a winner on the night, so they go straight to penalty kicks. There was a golden goal rule a few years ago, but they scrapped it because it was kind of just a little bit like, well, the best team's not really getting through. It's all just coming down to a little bit of luck. So if each competition has a slightly different rule anyway, but in the regular Premier League season or English division, ties are good. Sometimes you're just like, oh God, like a tie can feel like a win sometimes when your team is getting crushed and then you sneak out of there with a draw. It's like, oh yeah. I mean, it's just, it's glorious.
This is
I know
why
it
you
might seem
British
that
people
way.
are so complacent, though. You guys are just in America. We need defined wins. That's how we see the world. We need a defined win.
I know you guys. You guys are all on that, Ready Player One, main character syndrome, where it's like, it's my way. I'm doing this right now. I exist. And no one else can get fucked. We're a little bit softer.
Did you see this? I only bring this up because I own a fitness business.
Tell me.
I don't
I'm just
have
seeing it.
anything
No, it's
against
huge.
this exact
Eyes.
person, but San Francisco has hired a person to basically be a fat-friendly consultant to the city of San Francisco.
Oh, I'm gonna get cancelled.
Well, I listen. You don't have to get canceled. I just am curious. Like, I don't get it, and especially with somebody like RFK coming in and probably going to change a lot of rules inside of just like the health department. They just slid this person in just like last minute, and I don't know, man. Like, I'm just talking about from a trainer standpoint. I'm not talking about people's personal lives, the actual depth of the health underneath it.
The Biden administration put in
This
a
is not
last
necessarily the
minute.
Biden administration. Like, I would say that this is somebody who's local to the government of California. And I also saw recently, dude, on YouTube have banned fitness content on YouTube because it's creating negative body images for the youth and kind of like an unattainable body image and potentially creating a risk for the mental health of the youth, basically. And now there's this, and I'm just confused. I'm personally confused. as somebody
Is it one of
who
those situations where it's more like it's kind of clickbait and it's actually getting more points just from like being up there and the headline is actually pulling people in, but then really outside of your phone and outside of an internet connection, it's not really a problem? Like I always think there's two worlds, right? There's the world on your phone and the world outside.
there's
I
definitely
never
that.
see any of this stuff.
There's definitely that, but I think what ends up happening is like, do you remember when physical education, you didn't maybe have this, but in the United States, physical education and PE used to be a really big thing. I think they've started to pull back on that. Like there was a class where you had to participate in physical movement every single day. And there was a certain amount of movement that you had to do in school. They're pulling back on that kind of stuff. That's the confusing thing. So like there's what it was called.
It's back in the 70s, right? Just like physical education 101, where everyone had to do like a military course and push-ups and dips and run a mile and all this stuff, right?
I think it was called the 𝗕𝗟𝗗𝗕𝗏 fitness program. I cannot find it. Does anybody know what it is? Maybe it was West High. I can't remember what the name of the school was, but this used to be part of the movement with like Jack Kennedy was part of it all. And 𝗕𝗟𝗗𝗕𝗏 fitness. Okay, look at this. Like this is the difference now.
Yeah, I've seen these videos. Yeah. Yeah, everyone's just super lean, super jacked, super fit.
Yeah,
there's no
like this
overweight
used
people
to be
anywhere.
what was like kind of going on in school. And
Yeah.
it's just seemed like that's what I'm kind of like, we're both in the generation where like we were kind of experiencing some of this thing on the tail end of it, and now it's completely washed out, and it's confusing. It's confusing to me because like you see so much money being invested inside of like our physical like fitness and our realm of fitness. And now all of a sudden you see things inside of like the, I don't know, educational and government system that's kind of swaying it the other way. And that's where I get confused.
Well, it's been privatized. So that's what happened to health. It used to be a public service and then it got taken over by privatization. So you've now got like even personal trainers like myself, right? Like we charge, $100 an hour for our services, where it used to be subsidized by the government and everyone used to get enough physical movement in their day-to-day, either through school or work or whatever, or just through just common sense, right? But the thing that's kind of drives me crazy is the fact that there are people out there that don't want to adhere to the principles of being a human being. Like essentially you're a fucking sunflower. You need darkness, you need light, you need water, you need a little bit of movement. And if you don't do these things, you get sick and then everyone else has to fucking carry you. So it just really grinds my gears, so to speak, when people just think they're special and they don't have to move. And I'm not talking about abs. I'm not talking about like running a mile in under 5 minutes. I'm just talking about not being a fucking liability to everybody else. That's basically it. Anybody trying to get in shape, I doff my hat. Anybody that says that like people that work out are like right wing or just kind of like too obsessed or too vain, get fucked. You have no idea what it takes to be in shape. You have no clue the level of commitment. You understand your body and your health better than anyone ever could that doesn't. People want to drink themselves into an early grave. Go for it. You want to hate on people that are in shape? Go for it. I'll see you at the finish line, bud. You know what I mean? It's just, you can't help these people. You just sit back and just go, cool, bro. Heart disease, diabetes. That's why you don't actually see fat old people, because they're already dead.
True.
You get to 65. You don't see them at 85, 90. They're already dead. So, get fucked.
Dude, I've been really obsessed with this with darts lately. And darts is kind of making this resurgence.
Yeah, you want to see some athletes?
Do you remember this guy right here? Pete Weber, the greatest bowler of all time, the trash talking demon.
I never got into bowling. as in like professional bowling. I used to bowl as an amateur myself. High score 247, no big deal. Me and my friends got super into it. We bought balls and shoes and bags, and just because the local bowling alley used to sell $10 pitches on a Sunday, so you used to get wrecked and play. And we got kind of competitive, but none of us really had a clue what we were doing.
Dude, this is what we need in our sport. We need a little more pizzazz, dude. We need neck scarves. We need glasses.
Jackets.
Yes.
Jackets. Yeah. Sports coats.
Some finger pointing. Dude.
Yeah. I'd like to see some more face-to-face off, like business in High Rocks before.
Dude, they said right here they retired because they started drug testing. He was going to test positive for that dog he had in him. This is what I love.
There you go.
And George is one of the people, I brought this up onto the show today because George is one of the people that has impressed me so much. He seems to pick up almost anything that has hand-eye coordination and beats everybody. Like when we played pool that one night at the Bear Claw and you dominated the field.
Yeah, this poor kid got just swept him basically. He had one shot and then I just cleaned up from the break. What are you going to do?
This is what I really want to start to perfect. I want to start getting things like pool tables up here, ping pong tables up here, and I want to start secretly training to dominate. I'm going to invest my hours. As we're closing the show, dude, I want to talk about next year's goals, things you got going on, where people can see you and all that kind of stuff, because it was a great training camp. I had an absolute blast. Today was just all about kind of shooting the shit. But what do you got coming up? Where are you going to be? What are your big goals for next year? How can people race against you? How can people contend against the great George Edwards? Are you going to break a 65?
Yeah, I'm going to break a 65 in 2025. It's got a nice ring to it. At the moment, we're just finding a new location for the Hybrid Project training camp. So previously we were at Mike's gym down in Marbella, south of Spain. This time we're looking at a place in Tenerife or Portugal. We're just kind of finalizing the details, and that'll be like a spring training camp for maybe Tuesday to Sunday. So we basically recreate the atmosphere that we get on camp here. You know, we cycle, we run, we swim, we shoot the shit. We just get an awesome group of people together and hang out for the week and get super fit. And in between training sessions, we create an atmosphere where there's downtime and actual recovery rather than worrying about work or commuting. So it's super beneficial to your training. And so if you're trying to get fit for something like High Rocks, then you need a couple of weeks where you're really elevating the level of intensity and volume. It doesn't have to be all the time, but you kind of need to. Yeah, dude. I know, exactly.
What the fuck? What is that mountain in the background?
Dude, that's a volcano. It's a straight run up a volcano, guys. Legitimately. Like, no BS. You can run up that volcano.
Thing is?
I think it's 3,000 meters.
Let's see if we can get some data on this thing.
Is it 𝗕𝗟𝗄? I want to say it's like Mount 𝗕𝗟𝗄, but I could be wrong.
Highest elevation, 12,000 feet, dude.
Yeah, dude. There you go. More.
Yeah, dude.
Get some.
This is solid. Yeah. I would get behind that. That's taller than the mountains in Hawaii.
Yeah. It's
stunning. Can you bike to the top of it or run to the top of it?
You can definitely run close to the top of the crater. I think it's obviously all kind of, I don't think you can like peer into the bottom of Mordor type stuff, but
is this a picture of you after training camp, George?
I can't see it.
You can't see
this? Enhanced. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, please.
Yeah.
That's me getting off the flight, bro.
When's that camp going to be?
Yeah, we're finalizing the dates, but it's going to be kind of April. Yeah, late April, May.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Mm-hmm. And then, I've got a race Bilbao, I believe, mid-February, 2 weeks after Vegas. And then I've got Malaga in the books a month later, middle of March. So those are my 2 main races.
Are you coming back for Vegas? People want to know.
Oh, potentially. I need to know more about the after party before I commit to something like that. I'm not flying all that way for milk and cookies, But yeah, obviously I sell coaching programs online. I've witnessed the great Hunter McIntyre up close, and you know you're a stud, dude. I know you know what you're doing. You just got to hold it together and just not, you know, you got to like just be a heavy truck, dude. You know, so you just roll and get faster as you go through the laps, as you go through the stations. You know, last year we know that you tweaked it and you trying to hit the moon and you missed, but like, you know, you were super, your energy consumption was super expensive. You know, you lost a little bit of weight, you were almost too fast, but therefore you lost a little power endurance on the stations, and it cost you. But I think now you're heavier. It's like pushing a heavy boulder down a hill. You can't stop it. So as long as you just kind of keep that ideology and just enjoy training again, that's the big thing, guys. Enjoy training, because some of this shit is not fun. So you got to work out with good people who've got your back and understand what you're going through. And you know, if you have that atmosphere, yeah, I think you're going to be super tough to beat, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, it's racing, right? So it's kind of like, you know, you got to avoid all these like small nuances. You got to make sure you show up healthy. You know, you can't train through an injury. You know, you have to address these things. You can't, you know, a delayed flight can fuck you out of a race. Do you know what I mean? If you show up like an hour before the start line, you've traveled across the world, that's tough to get your head around. So all these athletes have to prepare mentally. They have to get to these places super early and just kind of acclimatize. So yeah, as long as all those things go for you, I think you're going to be super hard to beat, bro. And I'll be rooting for you.
Dude, I think the biggest thing that I've just recognized over this past handful of months is just like I just am like really looking at cups. And last year, like I had one cup and I dumped it all into every single time I raced. Every single time I raced. And then I would start the next week with an empty cup, and then I would try to dump it into the next thing. I will say, like, even this weekend, instead of going out, we did 21 hours of training this week. Like that's still like that's usually like the ceiling of my training. Usually on Saturday we went for that long hike. Usually what I did wrong last year is I would wake up after like a hard effort like we did on Friday, and I would go out for a hard bike ride. I was like, hey, I got to get bike all around these Malibu mountains, and I have to try to set a PR again. And I'm really just trying to let like you played the video games, your energy bar goes back up again. I never did that. And I just like, it's been good. It's been great for setting world records. And that's why I've been the guy who sets the world records, because I'm the best at dumping my cup out. But I dumped it out too many times. So definitely keep the hikes in.
Exactly. You're becoming a more experienced athlete, though, in the sense that you kind of know when to push, when to rest, when to hold back, when to do ABC, and that will ultimately serve you. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some fit dudes in that elite 15, super fit guys, and if they learn that experience, if they learn that wisdom that like older athletes have, then they're super dangerous too. But it's kind of one of the reasons why I say that youth is wasted on the young, is because they don't really know when to pull back, right? We all see it in certain athletes that are just charging, you know, like I think Jake Dearden's a great example where you go, dude just set like crazy race time, the marathon, either side of some impressive high rocks times. You put travel in and all that, and the guy's a stud. I'm not saying it isn't, but that's just 2 weeks in 1 year. And when you push hard like that, you can get injured and you can force yourself to have to kind of build back up. And really, if the game is about stacking days and volume, then, you know, I know he's had 1 or 2 serious injuries already. I hope he doesn't get any more. But he's just got to pace it. Just be patient. Kid's like 25, 26. You know, he's got to be thinking like, what am I going to be like when I turn 29, 30? You know, because I'd say like 36 to 39 is like the real peak and prime physical fitness.
Yeah, I was talking to Robert Killian the other day. I don't know if you guys know who Robert Killian is, but I'll just bring him up on the screen.
Stud.
Yeah, like this guy came in.
Excuse me.
This guy came in when we were doing Spartan races, and this is when he won his first ever Spartan race world title, and it was in 2015, I think. I think he was 36 right here. And then he won it again 4 years later, 3 or 4 years later, when he was like 39 or 38.
Animal.
And
Yeah.
he was just telling me, he was like, dude, yeah, he's like, that was my freakiest level of fitness. And this dude came in from an Ironman background. Like, I think Ironman is one of these kind of things where it's not necessarily the greatest background, but it's where athletes tend to do the most amount of volume. And volume in endurance sports tends to be really, really high. You have to, like, I just did this I was watching this video the other day where they were talking about just volume overall with endurance athletes and then looking at the correlate of the results. You know, if you're not doing 700 and 900 hours a week minimum, like, you're just not at the World Cup level, which is basically our Elite 15 level. It just, and the sport will adapt towards that. So this guy came in and he absolutely annihilated everything. And he won 2 world titles in Spartan race during the years where it was by far the most competitive. Like from like 2013 to about 2019, there was a 6-year run where the guys were just mutants. And
They were mutants.
like, you look at it, out of that period of time, left John Albon, who's now probably top 2 most competitive mountain runners in the world right now, and his training partners, Kilian Jornet. You had myself come out of there, who's now 3-time High Rocks world champion and record holder in many things. You got Ryan Atkins, who came out of there, who basically won world's toughest mudder, has so many FKTs all over the mountains, anywhere you can go.
Yeah.
It was
Atkins
just a
is a freak.
fucking freak period of time. And this guy, I think he just kind of ended up in the right place at the right time. Like, I think him in his 20s would not have won these world titles, but him in his 30s, he got them.
Cody Moat did the same thing.
Yeah, dude. Cody Moat, dude. That guy is
He was
such
just
a
like high school teacher.
Yeah, dude.
Didn't show up to a race all year, just trained, and then
Dude,
just rocked up to world title. Just crushed everybody.
National champion in the marathon, trail marathon, you know, multiple time world champion in Spartan race. Probably the most dangerous person when he was on his day. Because I remember, like, he won the world title one time with like 9 minutes.
Yeah.
He was such a gangster. But yeah, it was interesting.
I wish they just made Spartan heavier. I mean, you look at the body types, it's a straight up cross country run. Like, I wish they'd have just made that tire flip like 10 reps, or made those carries longer, or did something. Do you know what I mean? Just like,
it was like
the obstacles were like, grip. They were grip heavy. Some of those obstacles were good, but have you seen like the way OCR went out in Eastern Europe? Like what the Poles and the Russians are getting across. It's like straight up Ninja Warrior. You could put one of those obstacle courses in a Spartan race at the end, and the entire field would change.
This is the podium at Spartan Race World Championships in 2013. Look at the size difference. 3 boys, and then myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, this is back when they used to have the poles. I wish I could find some pictures of what it used to look like in 2013, because it was fucking hardcore.
Yeah.
It was really, really hardcore. Claude, dude, she was a gangster too.
The good old days. Like, look at the size of that Atlas, that log carry. Like, that's not heavy. That weighs like 12 kilos.
Yeah, I know, dude. The double sandbag carry and the sandbag carry, the double sandbag carry in Spartan Race World Championships in 2014 took, I mean, you can see it right here. This is what it was. Mm-hmm. That was insane. Yeah. The 2014 one was up the same hill, but over on this side. And it was 2, I think, 60-pound sandbags. I remember it took 𝗏𝗏𝗥 39 minutes to do the carry.
Ooh.
And he was top 3 in the world at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. I miss those days. I would go back to those days in a heartbeat over High Rocks. But
yeah, it's much more beautiful running around the nature than it is like air-conditioned arenas. No offense.
I think it was called the Wobbly Barn, and it was down here, and that was the bar that we would party afterwards. So good. I miss those days so much, dude. I would do anything to go back. All right, well,
Yeah. Post
we got
retirement, you can choose some challenges, get into them.
yeah. We got to get going, guys. We got a bike ride, then we got to take George to the airport. We got about a 2 to 3 hour workout this morning, and then George, you got to do some real work, dude. I can't have you being lazy.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Are we
Guess
going
what?
for a bike ride right now to start, or are we going for a run to start?
Probably a little bike ride, as I've got all that stuff ready to go. Do like an hour and a half on the bike, and then come in and then hit a little 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏
Ooh.
I know your ski-erg is kind of your weakness, so I thought we'd check that in there. Yeah.
All right, boys and girls. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You know the deal. We'll be back again. We'll do like a New Year's end of year wrap up. We'll talk about goals and everything like that, and we'll catch you guys soon.
See you guys.